The night is deep, and the house is so quiet, you can hear the hum of the refrigerator. And there I am, just like every other night, with the phone in my hand. The screen's glow is the only light, and my thumb hovers over your name, over our chat history. I'm checking again, just one more time, for a message that I know, deep down, isn't going to come. It's a strange ritual, isn't it? How waiting can become a habit, a reflex, refreshing the screen, scrolling up through our old conversations, rereading words that once felt like promises. I'd look for hints or signs that this silence wouldn't last. I was looking for a sign that you were just busy, that you were thinking of me, that you'd be back. This habit, this constant state of anticipation, it became my nightly routine. It was a cycle of hope and disappointment that I couldn't seem to break. The exhaustion from it all. It's a specific kind of tired. It's not the physical kind that sleep can fix. It's a soul-deep weariness. It's the weight of holding a space open for someone who has already left the room. My mind would race, turning every silence into a script of rejection. Did I say something wrong? Was it that one time I was too needy, or not needy enough? The overthinking was a storm in my head, and your silence was the thunder that kept me awake. My anxiety became a constant companion, whispering doubts and fears into the quiet of the night. My phone, which was supposed to connect me to the world, felt like a chain, tying me to a ghost. Every notification that wasn't from you was a small heartbreak. Every time my screen stayed dark, the knot in my stomach tightened. I was living on edge, perpetually braced for a message that would either save me or shatter me completely. And in those moments of waiting, my mind would drift back. It would play a highlight reel of our best moments. I'd remember the promises whispered in the dark, the plans we made for a future that felt so real, so tangible. All the almosts. We were almost perfect. Almost there. Almost forever. I clung to those memories like a life raft. I'd remember the way you looked at me, the inside jokes, the feeling of your hand in mine. Those moments were the fuel for my hope. They were the reason I kept waiting. I convinced myself that something that felt so real couldn't just vanish. I told myself that the connection we had was too strong to be broken by silence. I was replaying the good parts to justify the pain of the present, hoping that the past would somehow resurrect itself. But then, a stillness settles in, a different kind of quiet. Not the anxious silence of waiting, but a heavy, somber clarity. And the painful truth lands, not like a sudden crash, but like a slow, sinking realization. They're not coming back. The person I'm waiting for doesn't exist anymore. At least not for me. They've moved on. They're living their life. A life that no longer includes me checking my phone in the dark. And in that moment, I saw it so clearly. Waiting is a choice. It's choosing to stay in a painful limbo. It's choosing the fantasy of their return over the reality of my own peace. It is choosing to put my life on hold for a possibility that was growing dimmer with each passing day. The truth is, my waiting wasn't keeping them close. It was just keeping me from moving forward. It was an act of self-abandonment, and that's when the shift happened. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was a quiet click in my soul. The sound of a lock turning. A moment of profound clarity where I looked at the life I was living. A life of waiting, of anxiety, of rereading old texts. And I just thought, no more. My time is precious. My heart, which has been so patient and so hopeful, is precious. My energy, which I've been pouring into this empty space, is far too precious to waste like this. It was a decision born not out of anger or resentment, but out of a deep, sudden love for myself. I deserved more than the shadows. I deserved a life that wasn't defined by someone else's absence. I deserved to be the main character in my own story again, not a supporting role in someone else's disappearing act. I finally did it. With a deep breath that felt like my first in ages, I began the journey of letting go. It was a physical act. I held down my finger on our chat thread. The little menu popped up. I pressed delete. It felt both terrifying and liberating. Then, I muted notifications from mutual friends. I archived old photos. I wasn't erasing the memories. I was just putting them away. I was closing the door, not slamming it shut in anger, but closing it gently, firmly. It was me saying, I cherished what we had, but I can't live here anymore. Each action was a small step toward reclaiming my own space, my own phone, my own mind. And then came the grief, because letting go doesn't mean you stop feeling. The tears came, and I led them. I cried for the love that was lost, for the future that I had imagined, for the part of me that had held on for so long. But the tears felt different. They weren't tears of desperate hope or anxious longing. Those tears, they were totally tears of release, like finally letting it all out. It was the grief of saying a final goodbye. I finally understood that I could mourn the end of something beautiful without needing it to come back. I could miss the person they were, while accepting they were no longer that person for me. The sadness was a cleansing rain, washing away the residue of false hope and allowing the ground of my heart to become fertile again for something new. I gave myself permission to feel it all, knowing that grief was not a step backward, but a necessary part of moving forward. Slowly, night by night, something began to change. The silence in my apartment, which once felt so lonely and loud with absence, started to feel peaceful. The heavy weight that used to settle on my chest as I lay in bed began to lift. The quiet was no longer a symbol of what I was missing, but a space for me to find myself again. I started filling the nights with new things, reading books I'd been meaning to get to, listening to entire albums without interruption, journaling my thoughts, just being still with myself. The silence turned from something heavy into something healing. It became a canvas instead of a void. My nights were my own again. They were no longer about waiting for a sign from someone else. They were about tuning into myself. My focus began to redirect itself. I realized I was still waiting, but the object of my waiting had changed. I was no longer waiting for them. Now, I was waiting for the sun to rise on a new day. I was waiting for the seeds I was planting in my own life to grow. I was waiting for my own joy to blossom, for my own goals to be realized, for my own future to unfold. It was an active, exciting kind of waiting. It was the anticipation of becoming a stronger, wiser, more complete version of myself. I started looking forward to my own growth, my own adventures. The energy I'd spent on them, I now invested in me. I was building a future that I was excited to live in, a future that didn't depend on anyone else showing up. Waking up became a different experience. I no longer reached for my phone with that familiar jolt of dread and hope. I woke up feeling lighter. The mental chains were gone. The endless loop of what if had finally stopped playing in my head. What if they text today? What if I see them? All of that was replaced by a simple, powerful feeling of being present in my own life. I started noticing the small things again, the taste of my morning coffee, the warmth of the sun, the sound of birds outside my window. I was here, fully, in this moment. Not in the past, not in a fantasy future, but right here, in the life that was actually mine. There is an incredible power in that. It's the freedom of no longer being tied to someone else's actions or inactions. I stopped waiting for you, and I started living for me. And that has made all the difference. It's a quiet strength, a gentle power that comes from choosing yourself over and over again. So if you're listening to this, and you're in that dark room, waiting, please hear me. Your peace is not in their return. Your peace is in your release. Choose you, every time. Thanks for being here with me today. If this resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content on healing and finding yourself.